On a chilly afternoon, a heartbroken boy sits alone in a park, burdened by grief and hopelessness. A man in a red MAGA hat stops, asks a simple question, and what happens next will leave you speechless. Comments below. Where are you watching from? And if you like and love our story, kindly subscribe our channel, Life Inspirational and Motivational Tales that explore themes of love, unity, and patriotism. Stay with us always for interesting stories. Thanks. Let's start the story. The golden hues of autumn leaves swirled gently across the park's pathways, the crisp air carrying whispers of the season's chill. Ryan, a 16-year-old boy, sat hunched on an old wooden bench, his gaze fixed on the ground. His sneakers scuffed the dirt as if trying to erase the weight of his world. Around him, life carried on. Joggers passed, children laughed, squirrels darted between its trees. But Ryan felt miles away, lost in the storm of his emotions. His father's death had left an emptiness that even time couldn't fill. His mother, Kelly, was doing all she could to keep them afloat, but the cracks in their lives were impossible to ignore. Ryan's grades had slipped, his future felt uncertain, and guilt gnawed at him for being a burden. Mark, a man in his late 40s, strolled through the park, his red MAGA hat perched confidently on his salt and pepper hair. Mark had built a reputation as a businessman and philanthropist, but his hat often drew unwarranted assumptions. He had learned to ignore the stares and whispers. As his eyes scanned the park, they landed on Ryan. The boy's slouched posture, tear-streaked face, and the weight of something invisible etched into his shoulders caught Mark's attention. He slowed his pace, instincts urging him to stop. Mark approached the bench, his voice calm, yet filled with concern. "Hey kid, you all right?" he asked, sitting at a respectable distance. A few seconds passed, and Patrick's curiosity was piqued. It was a perfectly natural response. Ryan startled, brushing his face quickly. "I'm fine," he muttered, though his tone betrayed him. Mark didn't push. Instead, he sat quietly, letting the silence stretch between them. "Sometimes it helps to talk," he said after a moment. "You don't have to, but I'm here if you want." "What?" Ryan hesitated, his eyes darting to Mark's hat, then back to the ground. Something about the man's tone felt steady, trustworthy. Slowly, he began to speak. "It's just, everything's falling apart. My dad, he died last year. My mom's working every hour she can, but it's not enough. She can't afford my school fees anymore. And I feel like it's my fault." Mark listened intently, his expression softening with every word. When Ryan finished, he leaned forward slightly, his voice steady. "Kid, none of that is your fault. Life throws some unfair punches, but you can't carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. Your mom's probably worried sick about you right now. You should go home." Ryan shook his head. "We argued. I said some stuff I didn't mean, and I can't face her right now." Mark nodded thoughtfully, his own memories flickering. He saw shades of his younger self in Ryan, angry, scared, and unsure of the future. "All right," Mark said after a pause. "But let me tell you something. Sitting here won't fix anything. Sometimes help comes from unexpected places. Maybe I can help." Ryan glanced at him warily. "I don't want charity." "It's not charity," Mark replied firmly. "It's about giving someone a chance to become who they're meant to be. You've got potential, kid. I can see that. Sometimes you just need someone to believe in you." Ryan's defenses wavered as Mark's words sank in. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of hope. "All right," he said softly, "but I don't know what you can do." Mark smiled faintly, the wheels of a plan already turning in his mind. "Let's see what we can figure out." Ryan returned home that evening, his steps hesitant as he pushed the door open. Kelly sat on the couch, her face a mix of relief and frustration. "Where were you?" she demanded, standing up. "I've been worried sick. I just needed some air," Ryan mumbled, avoiding her gaze. "Ryan, you can't just walk out like that." Kelly's voice cracked, her exhaustion bubbling to the surface. "I'm trying, but I can't do this alone." Ryan's shoulders slumped under the weight of her words. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said quietly, retreating to his room. Alone, he sank onto his bed, guilt and frustration swirling in his mind. Meanwhile, Mark sat at his desk, scrolling through contacts. His determination to help Ryan had solidified during their conversation. Picking up his phone, he called the headmaster of one of the prestigious private schools he supported. "There's a kid who needs a break," Mark explained. "Smart, hard-working, but going through a tough time. I want him admitted on a full scholarship, cover everything, tuition, books, meals, but keep my name out of it." The headmaster, accustomed to Mark's discreet generosity, agreed without hesitation. "Consider it done," he said. A week later, Ryan sat at the kitchen table, struggling through homework, when his phone buzzed. The number was unfamiliar, but he answered hesitantly. "Hello? Hi, is this Ryan?" a warm voice asked. "This is Ms. Thompson from Lakeside Academy. I'm calling to let you know you've been awarded a full scholarship." Ryan froze, his heart racing. "A scholarship? Are you sure?" "Absolutely," Ms. Thompson replied. "We'd love for you to start as soon as possible. Please check your email for more details." Ryan hung up, still in shock. "Mom," he called, running to the living room. "I just got a call from a school. They're giving me a scholarship." Kelly's eyes widened. "What? How? Are you sure it's not a mistake?" "They said it's real," Ryan insisted, showing her the email. "Mom, this could be it. This could be my chance." Kelly's skepticism melted into cautious hope. "If this is real, Ryan, you have to promise me you'll give it everything you've got." "I will," Ryan said, determination hardening in his voice. The following weeks were transformative for Ryan. The structured environment of Lakeside Academy reignited his love for learning. His teachers praised his dedication, and his peers admired his resilience. Ryan joined clubs, excelled in classes, and even began tutoring struggling students. For the first time in years, he felt like he belonged. Kelly watched with pride. But the mystery of the scholarship lingered. Who had made this possible? She couldn't shake the feeling that someone was looking out for them. Months later, Ryan was invited to a school event honoring top students. As he walked onto the stage to receive his award, Kelly's heart swelled with pride. But as they mingled after the ceremony, her eyes landed on a familiar figure. Standing near the back, speaking with the headmaster, was Mark, his red MAGA hat unmistakable. Kelly's breath caught. Could he be the one? Gathering her courage, she approached a staff member and asked about the scholarship. "Oh, that was Mr. Mark's doing," the staff member said. "He personally arranges scholarships for kids like Ryan." Tears filled Kelly's eyes as she turned to find Mark leaving the event. "Mr. Mark, wait," she called, her voice trembling. Mark stopped, his expression calm but curious. "Yes?" Kelly struggled to find the words. "I misjudged you," she began, tears streaming. "I'm so sorry. Thank you for giving my son a future." Mark's eyes softened. "You don't need to apologize," he said gently. "It's not about me. It's about Ryan and the potential he has. I've been where you are, and I know how hard it can be." Kelly nodded, overwhelmed with gratitude. "You've changed our lives." Mark smiled. "That's all I wanted. As Mark walked away, Ryan joined Kelly, who stood silently, watching him go. Are you okay?" Ryan asked softly. "You feel bad, don't you, love?" Mark asked. Kelly pulled him into a hug. "More than okay," she whispered. "We're going to make him proud." Has this story touched your heart? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever experienced or witnessed an act of kindness that changed a life? We'd love to hear your story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring tales that remind us all of the power of compassion and understanding.